Too light or not too light? That is the topic of this video. So using your own lighting on a wedding, do you need to? No. Should you? I would say yes. The moment we started using our own lights on a wedding, we noticed our footage improving dramatically. A lot of videographers would say they just use the ambient light, which is fine, but you will always be given a situation in a wedding which has low light, and the cameras can handle it because most of them you can boost the ISO up to some crazy levels these days. But the problem is with boosting the ISO is all you're doing is turning the light up on everything. So I feel it's better to selectively light certain situations. And later on I'll show you the lighting we use, which are fairly inexpensive and small because you can pay a lot for lights and you don't really need to. So bridal preps, never have to use a light apart from when we do certain detail shots, and it's nothing more complicated than a mobile phone. So most mobile phones have the torches on the back, and all we would do is, if it was the shoes or the ring, we put them in place, sort of underexpose, and then just lightly wave the torch over the top, just to add a little bit of movement into that shot, because there's a trend of taking a photo still and using that as video, and I consider that as sort of a last option if I'm running out of time, because I always want to add motion into it because it's video, so I want to see movement. Ceremony, never had to light it so far. In a church you probably couldn't light it anyway, because if you brought lights into a church, the vicar would throw you out faster than you said the Lord's Prayer, which is actually a bad analogy because the Lord's Prayer is quite long. Even if it was a civil ceremony, a venue or a hotel, we've never had it where there isn't enough light to film it. And it's also quite an intimate moment, and I just wouldn't be comfortable with shining lights on the couple unless I absolutely had to. Drinks reception, never had to so far. Usually ambient lights, most of the time you can be outside anyway, so no need for that type of thing. Speeches, occasionally. Again, we will have them in our bag. If we use them on speeches, it might be 10-15% of the time. And it's only if it's a dark area, could be a TP or something like that, where they just have the twinkly lights. And all we would do is literally have a light set a little further back just to add a pop of light onto the face, just to light that up. Some people go for these complicated multi-angle to light up the hair and this other, too much, in my opinion anyway. Just a nice light, just to light up the face, all that's needed. Evening reception, this is where we would most of the time use lights. So everything takes place usually on the dance floor, so we have most of the time the cutting of the cake and the first dance and then the party after. Usually we'd have two lights either side of the dance floor pointed into the middle, just to light that up. Our equipment usually buried within the DJ or band's equipment so they don't stick out. And the lights we use for the dance floor are these YN216. These are absolute gems and so cheap. I think about 50 quid. With a battery maybe 60 when you buy them off eBay. I'll put the link down below. They interchange between 3200 and 5500K. They take the NP batteries on the top, so buy a couple of batteries for that. They also operate off AA, if you want to power them that way. Internal fan for no overheating. They have the powered out. Now, when it comes to actually operating these, when we first set them up, because we use stands now, you can attach them to most things really. If you had a Gorilla Pod or some sort of mini vice, so you could attach them to maybe the DJ's light, something like that, but we use actually light stands. So when we first attach them, we would have the power on the lowest. Okay, so when people walk into the room, they don't notice them. And then gradually, over the space of about 20 minutes, I'd knock it up every couple of minutes so no one notices the lights turning up. Because if you had them on full power, as soon as people walk in, they would notice. But as you gradually turn them, no one ever notices. Many times on a wedding, I have photographers asking what lights we're using, and they're quite surprised by the price as well. I've even had a photographer actually buy them in front of me on a wedding on his eBay account on his phone. I know many photographers who've bought these to use as in replacement of off-camera flash for certain portrait situations. So another light, and my favorite light to use, is the Nangguang, I'm going to get this name wrong, CN20FC. I'll put the link below. So the difference between these two are, this one's more of a floodlight, the Yongnuo. This one has a better spotlight capability. So if I just show you an example now, so if I turn this on the back wall, that's at its widest, okay? And then you can narrow the field for more precise lighting just by turning the dial. Also has a little diffusers on the front. I've actually broke one side, just to make the light less harsh in situations. Again, the Kelvin goes from 3200 to 5600K. So where would the spotlight facility come in handy? Speeches, if you're going to use them for them, just because it'd target that particular person instead of lighting up the whole table. Examples here of the K, where we can shoot a beam straight across to get more of a creative look for that shot. For the first dance, just so we can isolate the couple, just to give it that more intimate moment, as you can see here. Whatever the capabilities of your camera in low light on a wedding, having these in your bag and using them will improve your footage no end, guarantee. If you do have any questions about how we light a wedding, then please put them in the comments below. If you have found this useful, then please give us a like or subscribe. Bye for now.